I was staying at my friend's house for the weekend while she was away on a trip with her family. She had a small cat named Molly who was scared of thunderstorms. That weekend, a heavy storm was expected, but Molly was usually independent, often sitting alone in different rooms. The storm started the day before my friend left and kept going throughout the whole weekend. I spent Friday night there without any issues, and Molly seemed fine. The next morning, I relaxed on the couch, reading. I always loved staying at my friend's house because it was in the middle of the woods. It felt peaceful and quiet. Around midday, the home phone rang. Since this was back when landlines were common, I checked to see if it was my friend, but the caller ID just said unknown number. I didn't answer. A few minutes later, the phone rang again from the same unknown number. This time, a voice message was left. It was a man's quiet voice, and he only said one word, my friend's name, as if he was checking if she could hear him. Then he hung up. I found it strange, but thought maybe it was a family member or someone she knew. So, I texted my friend, letting her know about the call. Over the next 3 hours, 2 more calls came in from the same number, but no more messages. My friend never responded, probably busy with her trip. I didn't think much of it and spent the rest of the day relaxing. That night, around 8 or 9 p.m., I was watching a movie in the upstairs bedroom. Halfway through, I remembered to check on Molly's food and water. When I went downstairs, I found her standing at the front door, staring at the tiny gap under it like she was waiting for it to open. I called her name, and she glanced at me for a second, but then went right back to staring at the door. It gave me a weird feeling. I walked over and hesitantly looked through the peephole. The rain had fogged up the glass, so everything outside looked blurry, but then something moved. I couldn't see clearly, but there was definitely something or someone standing on the porch. My heart started pounding. I stared through the peephole, trying to get a clearer view, but I didn't want to open the door. I stood there for about 3 minutes, but nothing changed. I started convincing myself that I was just overthinking. If someone was there, wouldn't they have knocked by now? I left to check on Molly's food, then grabbed some snacks for my movie. When I passed by the door again, Molly was gone. A strange feeling washed over me, so I peeked outside one more time. Something was different. The blurry shape I had seen earlier was gone, like it had just disappeared. Feeling uneasy, I picked up Molly and took her to the bedroom with me. I continued watching my movie, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. 30 minutes later, Molly suddenly jumped off the bed and walked to the bedroom door. She didn't scratch or meow. She just stood there, staring at the small gap under the door, exactly like she had at the front door. My stomach dropped. I called her name in a shaky voice, but she didn't react. Slowly, I got up and leaned my ear against the door, listening. Nothing. Then, I crouched down and peeked under the gap. My heart nearly stopped. There was someone standing right outside my door, just inches away. I shot up instantly, my eyes darting to the doorknob. It wasn't locked. My hands shook as I quickly turned the lock. The second I did, the person outside ran. I heard them rush down the stairs. Then, silence. I grabbed my phone and called 911. Then, I called my friend. By the time the police arrived, the house was empty. No sign of the intruder. Based on the information I gave, they believed it was a stalker, the same one who kept calling the house. They tried to trace the phone number, but found nothing. The scariest part? This man wasn't after me. He was after my friend. Did he know she was out of town? Or did he think the house was empty and planned to break in? Maybe he was waiting to attack when she came home. We never found out who he was or what he wanted. The job interview trap. Last November, I lost my job due to company budget cuts. Luckily, I had some savings, but I needed to find work fast. After 2 weeks of job hunting, I was getting frustrated. I had applied for tons of positions, but hadn't received a single response. Desperate, I started looking on different job websites. Finally, I got an email from a hiring manager named Zach. He said his schedule was busy, but he could interview me that night if I was available. I wasn't fully prepared, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity, so I agreed. Zach sent me an address and told me to be there at 7:30 p.m. When I arrived, something felt off. The building had no sign, only an address number. It was small, dark, and completely empty. No lights, no people, no cars. I double-checked the address and looked it up online. No information. I called the number from the email. No answer. I tried again. Still nothing. 15 minutes passed, and I decided to leave. That night I went home, grabbed a beer, and tried to forget about it. But then, I heard something. A quiet creak from upstairs. At first I thought it was just the house settling, but then I heard it again. I checked outside. No wind. Later, as I lay in bed, I heard another noise. The sound of my closet door sliding open. I froze. I could barely see in the darkness, but my eyes adjusted just enough to notice a figure peeking out from the closet. My entire body jolted out of its frozen state. I grabbed my phone, jumped out of bed, and ran. I called 911 as I bolted outside. The cops arrived minutes later. I never saw the man leave, which meant he was still inside. They searched the house and found him, still hiding in my closet. When they dragged him out, I felt sick. He was dirty, with long, greasy hair and wild, unsettling eyes. He never spoke. But when the police investigated further, they found out something disturbing. This man had created hundreds of fake job listings across different websites. He had all my personal information from my resume. He knew I would be gone for the interview that night. And while I was out, he broke into my home. I still don't know what he planned to do, and I don't think I ever want to. Friends, click on the related link to hear the full story. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe